What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show, Ask Mike edition. Today, I'm going to be answering your questions on health, on fitness, on fat loss, on lifestyle, motivation, troubleshoot your specific problems and help get you moving forward. Now, we just did a video on a more socially divisive topic. You might want to check that out, entitled They Are Coming For You. It's about social media, mainstream media, and technology and the negative impact on children. So if you are a parent or if you care about children in your life, you probably want to take a quick listen to that. Now, I appreciate everybody here jumping in. Hello, hello, hello. Please feel free to ask any questions. This is your live stream. Ask any questions, and I will do my best to answer each and every one. But I wanted to start the video off talking about carbohydrate content. How many carbs is too much? Well, that's a great question. Now, in order to determine how many carbs is too much, let's briefly say, well, how much is not enough? Can we actually take in too few carbohydrates? Well, let's start there. The answer is unequivocal. Yes, you can take in far too few carbohydrates. Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar, January 29th, by the way. And I'm going to give you a 25% discount, just reminded me, with promo code MASTER25. You can click the link in the bio right now or click the link in the chat right now if you are interested in the Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar. Let me actually point it here. There we go. Sorry, guys. And then I'll get back into the carbohydrate content, speaking on specifically how much is enough. And bam. All right. Perfect. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. Now, apologies for that. We're back. How many is enough? Can we actually consume too few carbohydrates? The answer is yes. Again, unequivocally, yes, you can certainly consume too few carbohydrates. Now, the human body, being as adaptable and badass as it is, has some mechanisms built in so you don't immediately die. Right. And this is where keto comes in, and also carnivore comes in to a large degree. That's where these type of lifestyles come in, these ultra low carb, let's just call it low carb, very low carb, no carb lifestyles. That's where these come in. Your body can actually create glucose out of amino acids in the absence of stored glycogen from the ingestion of carbohydrates. We eat, quote, carbs. Those carbs are converted and stored as glycogen. That glycogen is then available to be expressed as glucose as the human body's primary energy source, most preferred energy source, and most efficient energy source. Glucose from stored glycogen expressed, during activity comes from ingestion of foods, right? So potatoes and rice and beans and quinoa and oats and fruits and all that stuff, carbs. And then we have the low carb community. And this is about how many is too much. Well, let's say how much is too little. Now, we understand most scientists, all science, I don't know of any science that does not agree with this. And I'm sure there's one out there that some keto head's going to point to. But the human body needs 80 to about 120 grams of carbohydrates per day, or to be expressed as glucose, more specifically, per day in order to function optimally. Now, some of this can actually be converted from amino acids in the absence of carbohydrate ingestion, but it's not optimal and it's not efficient. How many carbohydrates do you need to be at your best? And this is the problem. Most people don't understand being at your best. And that's where I want to go with this. The title of the video was, and I'm going to answer your questions here, keep putting them into the chat. The title of the video was, how many carbs is too much? Where do you start spilling over? Well, that's a good question. But we have to start with how much we actually need to be at our best. And that's the range. And somewhere in here is what you should be consuming. So we know all science says 80 to 120 grams. We will say 100 grams of carbohydrates ingested per day. Well, that's not that much at all. That's not a lot of carbohydrates, especially in the current American diet. You're likely eating more than that in a single meal. Right? One can of Coca is what, 30 grams of carbs or something simple. Like that's a third of your entire carb intake in just one 12-ounce sip of something. So let's say you need to eat 100, and we here at the Dolce Diet, well, we assume you to be athletic. And if you start adding more levels of energy expenditure, then the amount of carbohydrates you must consume has to go up because the level of expressed glucose, the demand on glucose has risen due to your activity. So we typically, our 3 weeks to shredded program, I do not believe goes below 150 grams of carbohydrates, averaged out per person over the duration of the program. And that's on the most extreme of our weight cutting programs, the 3 weeks to shredded program. The most extreme weight cutting program, this is even for the smallest of individuals. The 105, 115, 125 pound atom weight is still taking in over 100 grams of carbohydrates per day, averaged out, and getting shredded. Weight class, dropping 2-3 weight classes in a short period of time, getting shredded, getting lean, getting light, but staying energized so they can train twice a day or more. That's where 3 weeks to shredded came from. That was the point of it. That's the science. That's the foundation. That's the intention. That is the level of success that it has. 150 grams of carbohydrates or so. Well, that's about the minimum, in our opinion, knowing that we need 100 grams just to be alive, just for our base level cognitive function, cardiac function, getting up and going to the bathroom, whatever conversation we might engage in. If we're a modern human, then maybe we're working some cubicle job or we're swinging a hammer all day. So our need for ingested carbohydrate to be expressed as glucose dramatically goes up. Well, how much is too much? Well, great question. How much are you expending? So you can actually earn your carbohydrate ingestion through expenditure. What we do here again, so this is a little bit more principal Dolce Diet stuff, but take it home and make it yours for sure. That's what we do here. Leave questions in the chat. You create your need for carbohydrate based upon expenditure. How much are you burning? Well, that tells you how much you need to A, break even, or B, to now have higher levels of expenditure. Because you know what? I just joined a CrossFit gym and I'm doing 45-minute Metcon workouts 3 days a week. And I'm doing 60-minute, barbell beginners classes the other 2 days. And I go for a hike up the mountain with my sweetie on a Saturday or Sunday. But you're burning some carbs. You got to get in a little bit more, right? Or it's like, I just started a walking program. I'm start walking 10 minutes at a time, building up my base level of fitness over the next, 6 to 8 weeks or so. And then I might start doing body weight exercises. And then if that goes well, 3 months later, 6 months later, maybe I'll join a gym, Planet Fitness, Retro Fitness, a little group fitness class, TRX type of stuff. Then maybe, 3, 6, 18 months after that, maybe I'm going to join a CrossFit gym because, man, I'm really digging this stuff. Well, that's how we scale. And as we scale, we can scale our level of intake. So there's no hard fixed number outside of the baseline. This is edutainment for you guys, right? So you can actually do this in real time in your own life. It's really easy to do. Really easy to do in base premise here. How do we know it's too much? Well, now you're spilling over. How do you know you're spilling over? Well, look at the mirror. You're getting chubby. Boop, 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 boop. Like Pillsbury. Can pinch an inch. You're not expending the energy you're consuming. So now you're filling the gas tank. You're standing at the pump and the gas is now just spitting out. Except when it spits out, it actually falls into a little bucket, a little round bucket that we're just going to store for later. We're going to store this gas later in this little round bag, like a big Swiss ball, but it's clear and it looks like a gelatinous oil. like a raindrop of oil. I'm gonna fill this gas up with that, and I'm gonna stick it to my love handles, to my lower pec line, maybe to my jowls, the sides of my glutes, because I'm just overfilling and overfilling and overfilling, consistently overfilling, but the car just sits there, or maybe it goes around the block. So the energy just sits there. So conceptually, you know what you're doing. You know when you're overeating, likely you will do much better eating half the carbohydrates you're currently eating. If every meal you get, you look at the plate and you say, you know what, I'm only going to eat half the carbohydrates they just gave me, guaranteed you would feel fucking amazing in a short period of time. And guaranteed you're probably eating double to triple the amount of carbohydrates you're expending anyway. So we're just going to get you down to baseline by doing that. So if you're consuming, if we need to consume, and now here's real numbers before I answer questions, you need to get about 100 grams of carbs in on average every single day from high net nutrient sources. What would that be? Well, that would be quinoa. That would be blueberries. That would be sweet potatoes. That would be amaranth. That would be black rice. That would be white rice, of course. A wide variety of high net nutrient, bioavailable, carbohydrate infused food source that has a multitude of cofactors. It's not highly palatable process. I'm looking like I have something here. It's not highly palatable processed carbohydrates that offer no cofactors, no biologic availability. Massive digestive discomfort, by the way, systemic inflammation for typically days to come. Highly palatable processed carbohydrates instead of carbohydrates inside of high net nutrient whole food sources. So if we're eating those high net nutrient whole food sources that do contain a quality amount of carbohydrates and all the other bioavailable cofactors, well, eating 100, 150 or more carbohydrates makes you look better, feel better, live better, perform better. Everything is better. Nothing is not better. Everything is better, right? And then how many should you eat? Well, we say double to triple. So if you're taking in 150 grams of carbs per day, your high-end, high-carb day, maybe that's about, 350, 450. Yikes, that's a lot. Well, it is. What are you, 220 pounds? Are you doing 20 rep breathing squats with 1.25 of body weight, for multiple sets? Are you training Metcon? Are you, flipping tires? Maybe you live on a farm and you're also chopping trees while performing in the CrossFit Games. Well, shit, you probably need to eat maybe 500 to 600 grams of carbs on given days, on your high carb days. And when we talk about 3 weeks to shredded, 3 weeks to shredded runs on concurrent carbohydrate and calorie cycles. So the carbohydrates go up and down. That's why we say averaged out. There's a specified carb target, but they go up and down over, multi-day, multi-hour sometimes cycles, as the calories do, independent of the carbs. So these are concurrent calorie and carb cycles, which is why our athletes have so much energy. They maintain muscle mass. They perform at such high levels. And so could you, of course, while getting super shredded. So the average person out there who's more of a sedentary lifestyle, probably between baseline, like 100 grams or so, and like 200 or so, maybe 150 to 300 or so. If that becomes your ceiling, and then you wave in between 100 or so and 300 grams of carbohydrates on average, and if you're a little on the soft side, and maybe you don't exercise as much, you should be closer to the 100. Maybe you're like, 175 to 200 most of the time. And then you have a 250 day and a 300 day. Well, that works really well. I say this, guys and gals, just to give you some insight. When I look at it, I don't think in terms of macros and I start calorie calculators and putting it into my little Excel spreadsheet. No, I look at the human. Tell me about your day. What are you doing in your day? What's your lifestyle like? Get some background information, training experience. What do you like to do? You hate CrossFit stuff or barbell stuff. Yeah, I get it. Let's go play some tennis or fucking park frisbee, whatever it is, golf or swim or fencing, whatever it is. That can be implemented as a specific carbohydrate vehicle, which is where you can, earn those carbohydrates you're thinking, because most of you want to eat carbs. Who's gone on no carb, low carb diets? How long did you stick to it? Even the carnivores. How about this? Even the carnivores. Look, I'm a carnivore, dude. I'm a fucking carnivore, man. I'm a carnivore. A carnivore. Well, they're fucking eating plant-based products too. They're eating fruit because they can't deal. They can't cope. So like even the most hardcore, mentally, the most tribal of all, well, fucking even they admit they can't do it. It's not beneficial to be that low carb for that long. So they put the carbs back in. Usually very high sugar containing fruits is really what they go to. Typically they come up with a little bullshit reason as to why, and they don't really say, because fuck, man, carnivore kind of by itself for too long is kind of stupid. Maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, I'll see a little bounce, as I would see on any sort of dietary change. A study was done, many studies have done, to show if you follow a traditional diet, let's say, and then you go on a low carb diet, you'll lose X amount of weight. If you follow a traditional diet, you go on a low fat diet, you will lose X amount of weight. You lose about the same amount of weight if you go on a low carb diet or a low fat diet. Doesn't really matter. Go low carb diet, go low fat diet, and just play back and forth. It doesn't really matter. And then typically the vast majority of participants bounce off and go back to the regular diet and gain all the weight back, usually more, because they never learned the concepts. And that's what I try and do here. I'm trying to do here more on this channel, is give you the concepts of why this works and how this works and how you should look at it as you take accountability for your own lifestyle and you stop worrying about a macro profile or how many calories are in the little snack pack of highly palatable synthetic toxic foods with an all natural plus protein label on it that you're going to pretend is something healthy when it's not. So again, conceptually, in context, I want you to hopefully see the way I think about this stuff. Now, of course, we can drill down into the macros, and I believe we do that better than nearly any other team or system out there. Because, you just look at these cool regular folks right here, but also all the elite athletes. Boom. Like all the elite athletes that we work with, you think we don't completely construct their macro ratio, their calorie ratio, their electrolytes, their water, their hydration, their training, their frequency? Like, do you think this happens without being a master at macros and calories and carb cycling and timing and peaking and even strategic carbohydrate ingestion? Just a little bit of resume. Hey, who's this guy? A little bit of I just haven't seen some of these photos in a long time. Awesome. More the regular folks with still world-class results. But anyway, let's jump back out of here. So let me answer your questions here. I think you get the point. Just trying to make this educational and hopefully fun. Trying to get this up. Paul P. What's up, Paul P? Damn, man is grinding. Oh, he's grinding. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cody. Belen. Hello, Belen. Good to see you. Paul, but with carbs, I blow up. My weight can sway 46 pounds just from eating excess carbs. Just from eating, let me get this down, please. Eating excess carbs. That's what I said earlier. Why are you eating excess? You're spilling over. You are filling up the gas tank. You're standing at the pump. You are holding the handle, squeezing it tightly, and gas is just shooting out of the pump. There's too much coming in, and it's getting collected into those little barrels, those little droplets that are then being stored on your body. Right? Now, temporary, one carb meal, one big carb meal, one big carb day. Well, you're not going to immediately gain body fat. You will likely just get super bloated. The more violent the bloating, typically the more disgusting the food. Typically, the more violent, the more adversely your body reacts, the more acutely your body reacts, specifically to carbohydrates, but really most food sources. The more acutely and violently and negatively your body reacts to ingesting any sort of food matter, the worse that was. This makes sense, right? It's like a snake bite. It's not just like, I feel all right. You don't blow up. The scale doesn't change. You don't get digestive discomfort. You don't maybe get a little bit of like a headache or a little mood swing or all the other stuff. Lethargy, you don't get any of that stuff on high net nutrient foods. Amir, would butternut squash be a good addition to 3 weeks of shredded? Absolutely. I'm eating a ton of butternut squash right now. I mean, that's almost a free food. I think I'm sensitive to them. Possible, but how much are you eating, Paul? It sounds like you said excessive carbs. You're just eating too much, man. Cut them in half. Everybody here, the next 3 days, all the carb, eat everything you normally eat. Just cut your carb content in half and watch what happens over that period of time. Watch how fast your body responds. Discuss this with your doctor before trying any diet or exercise program. This is not medical information, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I am not a medical doctor, although my initials are MD. It's odd. I'm not a medical doctor. See what happens when you drop your carbs a little bit. Isaac, hey man, I travel at nice badge, Isaac, by the way. Got the subscriber badge by being a subscriber of the channel, clicking that little join button. Boom. Now he's all badged up. I appreciate that. Hey man, I travel a lot and following 3 weeks of shredded, but I can't be carrying 5 plastic Tupperwares and protein powder. Why not? Why not? I don't understand what that means. I travel a lot. Why not? Like, you have to, maybe you're just packing inefficiently. Like protein powder, well, that fits in a Ziploc bag. I mean, how long are you traveling for? If I go places, I'll sometimes I'll do a Whole Foods order and have it delivered to my hotel room. So when I show up, Instacart's already there. It arrives when I get there. That's one way to do it. Maybe just a little pro tip. Lean, green, and clean. Lean proteins, green vegetables, clean burning carbohydrates. Grab a couple apples or avocados. Bring yourself a little spoon, right? Make like a big ass turkey chili the night before you leave. So you just have a ton. And I'll usually put that in a larger dish, knowing that's like 2-3 meals for me. I'll usually have some sort of wrap, 1 or 2 wraps, just an easy grab and eat. I'll usually have some sort of snack, which is why I have the fruits and the avocados, which come in their own shell. So I can just skim those open and eat those exactly as they are. Usually some cashews, some almonds, like a little bit of a trail mix there. So I'm not quite following you, Isaac, but where there is a will, there is a way, my man. I've been traveling the world. I've been able to go to a Denny's, get a whole avocado, get fresh spinach by itself with olive oil, get a whole tomato, literally, order a few poached eggs or hard-boiled eggs even at a Denny's in like armpit crap hole USA, just outside of a military base. And poor soldiers, they're stuck with this type of crap. But I've been able to eat like that, which is awesome. So I want you to think bigger, think broader, brother. This is not, it might feel like a scolding. It's not a scolding. It's just, first person, buddy to buddy here. Man, there's no reason to miss. There's no reason to miss. I got to walk around with 5 plastic Tupperware and protein powder. No, you don't. Why you got to walk around? Like, where are you going all day carrying 5 Tupperwares all day? Like, you can't leave it in the car or in your hotel room? I don't get that. Like, where are you going all day? Like, I got meals. I got 3 meals with me right now. I'm not carrying anything around. It's sat over there. So that's just my thoughts, man. Full body with the walking, 150 pounds skinny rope. Thanks. Hell yeah. Costa me, nice work. Right on. When's the best time to eat carbs like rice and potatoes? Well, it depends on what your journey is. Now, this is a great educational opportunity, Amir. And thank you. Bam. All badged up. Subscriber. Click the join button. Got the badge. I appreciate that, Amir. Now, when is the best time to eat carbs like rice and potatoes? For the first group of people, which is probably 80% of you, 80% of the people right now, maybe even 90, but we'll say 80%, you are the people who are likely overweight. Right? Right. Because we know statistically that 2/3 of the population, which is about 75%, is either overweight or obese, with 50% being considered obese. So probably 3/4, 75, 80%, I'd say even 90% of you will most benefit, not by worrying about carb timing. When specifically should I have this carbohydrate to best facilitate? No, that's for the last 10% of you. When you've already done the first 90% of the work. That's what our Living Lean program is. The Living Lean program is designed to get you from not even starting or like 40 pounds away from amazing shape and get you going. That's what Living Lean is about. The average weight loss on Living Lean, anecdotally, right, individual results vary, is about 40 pounds over 12 weeks. 3 weeks to shredded is the much more acute weight loss, dramatic weight loss, right? 3 weeks, 21 days. That's for like the last 10% mentally of you. In the beginning, you should simply build structure. And this is what we do here. I call it the health and habit phase. You need to develop healthy habits that improve your health. That's the first 4 weeks typically. Again, that's what our Living Lean program does. If anyone's interested, click the link below. You can get a completely personalized Living Lean online 12-week program with 3 weeks to shred it as a bonus. If you need personal structure following the GPS to your future body, that's what it is. But in that, we build in this exact principle, which is the health and habit phase. So, Amir, you don't need to worry so much about strategic carbohydrate timing in this phase. You simply need to focus on eating high net nutrient foods that contain healthy carbohydrates in moderation, evenly dosed. We call this the 4x4. For those of you who don't join the Living Lean program, the 4x4. 4 meals, 4 hours apart, 4 times per day. Evenly portioned. Your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and pre-workout, post-workout, snack, dessert, call it what you want. Lunch, brunch, supper, call it what you want. Tea, call it what you want. 4 feedings per day, about the same size. Lean proteins, green vegetables, clean burning carbohydrates. Simple, easy proportion. So, Amir, let's say you need to eat 200 calories or 200 grams of carbs per day to A, maintain your function as a human, and also be able to do the exercise and a little bit of work that you put in throughout the day while now losing weight. So let's say it's about 200. Maybe you'll get up to like 225, 250 on a high day, maybe down to like 150, 175 once or twice on a low day, but around 200 grams or so. Evenly proportion that. About 50 grams per meal times 4 meals, spread about 4 hours apart evenly throughout the day, that you then consistently follow eating high net nutrient foods. You eat about the same type of food, give or take, within principle: chicken, steak, fish, eggs, beans, all good. Rotate, have fun. Make a stew, make a chili, grill it up, broil it. Awesome. Have fun. But it's still the same 4 to 6 ounce piece of meat. It's still the same 1 handful green vegetables, 1 handful of multicolored vegetables. It's the same half cup to a full cup of the clean burning carbohydrate source. White rice, black beans, sweet potato, oats, buckwheat, quinoa, amaranth, blueberries, watermelon, clean burning carbohydrates. What have you, right? Think like this. If that's your life right now, 4 meals, lean, green, and clean, nice and easy, about the same side, delicious. Yesterday, meal 2 for me, I ate half a papaya. It was amazing. That was my clean burning carbohydrate. I ate half a papaya and an omelet. It's fucking amazing. I felt so good. I was like doing push-ups. Like just, can I get an extra couple, 100 push-ups today? I felt that energized after that meal. I remember this distinctly. Point is, maybe you don't like papaya. Maybe you like pineapples. Maybe you like apples or blueberries or rice. Fucking eat it. But about the same size, evenly proportioned throughout your day. Think about how different your life will be, how different you will feel. Think about your digestion, because now you're eating high net nutrient, bioavailable, organic foods packed with vital digestive cofactors that allow for, number one, is more efficient digestion. Whew. Number two is much greater absorption of the nutrients you just consumed. My God, you feel great, right? That's what I say. The first 80 to 90% of you, that's what you need to focus on. And Amir, I said, this is a great educational opportunity. I'm using your question to like take it to everybody. So I don't know that specifically this is for you. Maybe you are in the top 1%. That's very possible also, physically, very possible, or compliance-wise, it's very possible. So I hope that helps, guys. Have you ever used Element Packet? If so, what's your thoughts? Are they effective with your programs? I've never tried it. I don't know if it is or isn't, but we don't need it because we use real elements. We actually use real sodium chloride from iodized table salt or Himalayan sea salt, that usually there's a mix. We use fresh squeezed lime, right? We use raw local honey, 73% or greater, usually 85% or greater, organic dark chocolate. Like, these are healthful whole foods, non-processed. And I don't know if Element's good or bad. And there's other ones out there, Drip Drop, and these other Noon, out there, a lot of these other electrolyte replacements. Well, we actually just kind of eat the real electrolytes from whole food sources. I got the salt in my house. I got the lemons, the limes at my house. I got the organic local raw honey. Well, that's in my tea. Right? That's the way we look at it over here, which I think is easier. It's a hell of a lot less expensive, and it doesn't defer responsibility for proper nutrition choices. And that's not, that's all of those. That's what is it? The green vibrance, or like the green powders, and what the high ORAC value green, powders. Okay. I'll put it in my backpack when I go camping. But I think it's an unnecessary distraction in many ways, with good intention. I think it's good intention, but I think it's an unnecessary distraction, and it takes people away from making more mindful decisions of what they're factually consuming from food sources. How to deal with lady time hunger. I can overeat lean protein and carbs. I'm 130, 30 years old. I can eat 140 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs a day, lifting 75 or 80%. How to deal with lady time hunger. I would, if possible, increase energy output that is comfortable for you. Some ladies can. They have, a really bad day. Some ladies just breeze right through it. If you increase expenditure, energy output, and maybe through less, invasive ways, or, less metabolically suppressing ways, up to you again, but greater energy expenditure going into it, or changing food choices altogether. Seeking less calorie dense foods, right? So eating like watermelon is awesome. We eat a lot of melon, especially like getting into acute dieting phases. People say stay away from carbs. We're like, why? There's super low calories, high net return, biological cofactors, great digestive efficiency, high fiber content, and very satiating. Watermelon is very satiating. Per calorie, watermelon is extremely satiating. If you ate equal portion sizes of, let's say, steak, chicken, fish, potatoes even, versus watermelon, man, apples, same thing. Eat a whole apple. So I'm saying make different food decision choices, Bella. And again, we could do a deeper dive and learn more about you and all that. But increase energy output, or just change calorie content of more satiating foods. But I'm getting fluffy. Can you increase the energy output? Or maybe it's just water retention also, Bellin. But if it's over like a 3-day period, pardon the pun, sorry. If it's over a 3-day arc, 4-day arc, where you kind of like gain 3, 4, 5 pounds, and then it flows and it falls back off, That's just kind of a normal fluctuation. We would look to mediate that knowing going into it. We would probably start to taper maybe sodium down 3 to 5 days beforehand if it had a real harsh negative effect on you. We might suggest consuming like a dandelion supplement, dandelion uva ursi, as directed, work really well and pulling off a few pounds of water retention, additional bloating that battles back against it. Also, I think about digestive efficiency. Right? If you're eating food that causes some sort of inflammation in your digestive environment, you are certainly more prone to show that water retention systemically throughout the body. So if you kind of lady time comes, you start eating some off-menu foods, your digestive system gets a little irritated, you are more prone to inflame completely your whole body, even subcutaneous edema as a result of that. So again, I'm just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall, just chit-chatting. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? I would take all that into consideration. Chris, Mike, what would you suggest to lose 7-ish pounds for a powerlifting competition 8 weeks away? That's awesome, actually. You're only 7 pounds away. Not knowing your weight class, Chris, I would want to be, I don't like dehydration, although I'm an expert at it per se, or really I'm an expert at avoiding dehydration, I think you could say. We want to be within 4% of your weight class. Now, the time you weigh in versus the time you compete matters. The closer you are to scale and first lift, the less water you want to draw out. Now, if you have 24, 36, some even 48 hours or more, well, then it can be a much higher percentage. Not that I would suggest it, but you can safely mediate that. Right now, I'd probably continue doing what I'm doing. I try and lose a pound per week or so, which will take you right into competition, as long as your lifts, your training, your program, your periodization does not fall, right? But again, I would focus on also, a lot of athletes forget, so I want to remind you, you must prioritize your sleep at this phase. 7.5 to 9 hours of deep restful sleep is key. It's critical. Do not come at me asking about your training, about your nutrition, about your supplements if you are not getting a minimum of 7.5 hours of deep sleep, which means getting to bed typically 9 hours before we're scheduled to wake up. I struggle with strength, my last cut. Exactly, Chris. That was what I was alluding to. If you cut too much, especially for strength sports, you got nothing. There, many studies done, and this is, well agreed. 2% reduction of body weight due to dehydration or water loss has a immediate, and I forget the numbers right now, but an immediate impact on visuospatial awareness, on balance, on coordination. So think about when you're unracking and walking out with that freaking barbell to hit a squat. Well, if your coordination's a little bit off, your depth perception's a little bit off, that right there matters. Cardiac function at 2% dehydration is diminished. Your heart's ability to literally push blood and oxygen to the working muscles, well, that's diminished, all because of this dehydration. So I would say get as close to weight as possible. And if you lose 1 pound per week on the way down, you should be great. Bill N says, here's an ex-keto girl. Since I shifted to Dolce videos, my performance at the gym improved 100%. I'm more stronger and better body composition than in my 20s. I could come back from COVID and work out. Belen, that is awesome. Congratulations. I'm super happy to hear that, by the way. I am not shocked because I know how well our principles, our programs work. This is elite science, right? We all know this. Need I say more? But to see you stick to it, you to follow, you to choose it, you to trust it, you to research it, you to purchase it with your time or your money, to be fully invested in it, to follow it through, and now to be yielding these type of returns, these type of results is awesome. So Belen, super proud of you. And am I saying your name correctly? Because you're here quite a bit now, and thank you for being an active member of our community. I freaking love that. And let's go. So Belen, what is the next goal? That is my question to you. You've already done this. Now, what is the next goal? We always got to set goals. That. And I'm screenshotting that. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. MP, I did exactly that and had awesome results cutting my rice in half. Hell yeah. See that? Exactly. Easy, right? That's all we need to do. We stick to the principles. Those of you who are just joining, hello, we got lots of great stuff. Dave B. the legend will come on and timestamp this entire video. We've covered a lot of topics so far, but we spent a lot of time focused on carbohydrate ingestion, the reason behind it, and also building context for you. That most of the other fitness influencers, experts, marketers, whomever they may be, because they're not all experts for sure, even if they're very popular, they don't offer context. They just offer hard numbers. And humans are not hard numbers. Humans, we do not work based upon mathematics. We work based upon biology. So context matters in much of this. So you can implement it into your own world. Gabby, are plain quick cooking grits and plain quick cooking grits a good source of carbohydrates? I'm not very familiar with grits, although I don't think so. And if you give me one moment, thanks to Google, I can actually see what is in a grit. Is that corn? What are grits? There you go. Food Network. Let's see what they say. Consumed by Native Americans have been a long-standing staple across South America and in Southern cuisine. Actually, how about this? Let me, why do I just get to read it? You guys should be able to see this too. Boom, boom. All right, there we go. And shrink me down. So what are grits? And this is on Food Network. Grits were originally consumed by Native Americans and have been a long-standing staple across America, the American South. In Southern cuisine, grits are commonly eaten for breakfast, though whether you're on Team Sugar or Team Salt is an intensely debated personal preference. Grits are also top billing in classic low-country dishes, such as shrimp and grits. Grits are made from ground corn, typically from less sweet, starchy varieties, often referred to as dent corn. Grits can be made from either yellow or white corn and are often labeled accordingly. So, at first reaction, Gabby, I'm going to say, eat grits in moderation. Not knowing and not having the time to do the full deep dive. Corn is rather higher in total sugar and has relatively low, if not no, fiber associated, so less cofactors that aid in digestion. That doesn't mean never eat grits, but I wouldn't make grits a staple. My assumption is that grits via corn, and it says in the recipe that sugar or sugar and salt is added to the grits recipe, which I would probably avoid that. It sounds like it will have a very high insulinogenic response as compared to some other maybe slower digesting carbohydrates, but I wouldn't say no altogether. Mind you, and let me preface this statement with, I don't have experience in grits. I don't make grits. I haven't made grits. And I even had to look up what grits were specifically. But I do believe we've considered them multiple times in some of our books and felt it didn't meet our criteria of being a high net nutrient source. So I hope that's helpful. Like quinoa, let's say. We would have quinoa oats over grits if we're talking about long-term health outcomes, short-term acute sports performance, body composition. Though we might throw grits in once in a while. I hope that helps, Gabby. Henrik, any difference between eating carbs before an intense training and eating after to replenish in terms of amounts, timing, and so on? Yeah, same. I would say at the same time. And Henrik, you are actually in that 10%. So those who don't know Henrik is a Dolce Diet certified coach, very acclaimed athlete in his own right, and still continues a very aggressive health and fitness lifestyle. So Henrik is a A-class performer in this. His response, and this is actually great because we did the first 80 to 90%, and now those in Henrik's category, this is where carb ingestion can become strategic. And we talk about strategic carbohydrate ingestion on 3 weeks to shred it. We have very specific carbs listed at very specific times to allow a very precise amount of energy that will likely last a precise arc or curve. We will use carbohydrate sources that are more beneficial to the desired energy expenditure outcome of this next period of time, 2 to 4 hours, let's say. So to Henrik's question, best to eat carbs before an intense training or after? I would say both, but the most important carbs you eat prior to training are the carbs you ate the day before. What I ate yesterday in many ways is what is fueling me today. Now, I can have more strategic carbohydrate events that can have benefit but that would be more on the simple sugar side. Let's say if I'm walking into a hard sparring session and I had my normal, good, clean, healthy chicken, rice, veggie 2 hours ago. Well, that's too close of a window before sparring to eat something else. It's about enough for a small meal to be fully digested through, not sitting in my stomach. Although as I walk into training, I want to have a little bit of energy. This is where a strategic carbohydrate source will be very beneficial. And we would say maybe a cold pressed beet juice. Why is that? You get that immediate sugar shock. That sugar gets into your bloodstream within 10 minutes or so, almost immediately, and should give you a good 20 to 45-minute wave. Now, maybe we mix some chia seeds in there. Maybe we eat a little slice, a third or a half of an avocado to give a little slower digestion, little bit more balanced energy flow that lasts just a little bit more. So as the beet juice effectively is arcing and crashing, that avocado is just kind of giving a little extra stability and boost. This is something that we would look at, and we certainly do. Post-workout, we're looking to then replace possibly the glycogen that we depleted. Although I'm thinking more of the amino acids, I'm trying to get the aminos into the bloodstream before even the carbohydrates. Although the carbohydrates can and will certainly come in. We'll consume one of our, I think on 3 weeks to Shredded, one of our post-workout, acute weight loss favorite drinks is coconut water, blueberries, and a whey isolate. Now you can blend that. What I like to do is I like to just bang the whey isolate in water, shake it, bang it, and then drink the coconut water mixed with the blueberries, kind of ice cold by itself. Woohoo, baby. I would pay $12 for that in an acai shop, and I can drink that after all my training. So, Henrik, that's kind of the way we look at it. And then 30 to 90 minutes after that, we would just have a balanced meal. Usually when I say during like pre and post training window, we really want to focus on the digestibility of those meals. We always do, but the more rapid digesting, the better. That's why we would say like chicken breast, white chicken, white rice, maybe like a pepper, onions, asparagus, something simple, butternut squash, something simple. So those meals get digested rather rapidly, right? No fats, kind of keep the fats out of it for those 2 meals typically, but that's only when we're focused on these really acute results. And that's only for like 10% of you that have already gone through that 80 to 90% of the living lean concept. Right? Where you're already eating well, you're already exercising regularly, you're already in good sleep, you're already managing stress in your life, you've been doing it consistently, you've already lost 20, 30, 40 pounds. Like, bam, you're in a routine now, you've been doing this for a while, you got this. Well, then you can focus on the high level acute. This is like me asking, a NASCAR driver how they lead into their turns. What do I need to do? That doesn't do anything for me, right? I just need to stop hitting the fucking wall. Let me keep the car in the center of the fucking road going half the miles an hour as everybody else and just ease into it. Think about the nutrition like that. Diego, hey, sir, 4 a.m. here in Australia. Question, I'm 110 kilo male. I exercise every day. Weights and 60 minutes plus brisk walk. I intermittent fast. Do you recommend extended fast? Absolutely not. 4 a.m. Australia. I appreciate you being here, Australia. Whereabouts? 110 kilo, which is about 242, right? That's about 242, about 240-pound person. Exercises every day with weights and 60 minutes brisk walk. I intermittent fast. Do I recommend extended fast? I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think they have long-term positive outcomes. Long-term, you typically gain all the weight back. I would practice right now your long-term, lifelong strategy of building structure to your meals. I would follow the 4x4. I would click the link below it. I would follow the 12-week Living Lean program and get that structure, get it built in. Learn how to feed yourself for the rest of your life. So you're always walking around at 90% of perfection like Henrik is. Then he can just make a couple tweaks to his diet, couple tweaks to his training program, and 3, 6, 12 weeks from that point, he's ready to compete. Maybe it's boxing, maybe it's a marathon, maybe it's a powerlifting competition, maybe it's a surf. Whatever he wants to do in that short period of time, he can be stage ready. Most people, though, listening to this in 3 months will not be stage ready, although you will now be healthy. And then we have to go through this in stages: novice, beginner, intermediate, advanced, elite. Bang, 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 bang. Where do you fit on this nutrition lifestyle rage or gauge? That's why we say if you're like 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, don't even stress. Start now. Let's just lock this up. Let's get structure. Let's start getting some activity going. Let's get focused. Let's say, all right, 3 months from now, here's my goal: 25 pounds down 3 months from now. I'm slightly undershooting because I want to make sure I crush it, but I want to do 35 pounds 3 months from now. Like, fuck, who knows? I got 40, 50 to lose for sure. I'm 25% body fat. Imagine. Some of you are. If your doctor said you were 25% body fat, you'd be like, holy shit. Look at me. I thought it was going to be way worse. Again, context. Hopefully you see this more for what it is, and hopefully you can see more about the way I view this stuff. And I think why we're so successful, truly, why we're so successful with what we do, with who we do it with, at what level we've done it. Crosby, just lose weight with a calorie deficit and then maintain calories at the weight. It's not that difficult. It is that difficult, though, Crosby. It is that difficult, because what you just said right now, Crosby, listen, I'm sure this is with good intention. What you just said just doesn't work. Just lose weight with a calorie deficit and then maintain calories at the weight you like. Well, how the fuck do I do that, man? Do I cut all my carbs? Because that cuts your calories. Do I cut all my fat? Well, that cuts calories. Do I cut 4 meals out of the day and just gorge myself on one that turns out to be less total calories per day? So, Crosby, that doesn't work. And then how do I intelligently introduce calories back into my diet when I found the weight I like? Because if I found the weight that I liked by cutting all my calories, when I reintroduce calories, won't I then leave the weight that I like? So I think it was good intention, Crosby, but I don't think that works. Belen, I carry normally chicken breast and black coffee in my handbag almost every day, even from my husband. That is awesome. Good for you guys. You guys are brain dead and don't need some specialist to show you to lose weight. Crosby, post pictures, brah. Tag us on Instagram. Put your Instagram account down there, Crosby. Everybody wants to see your level of fitness expertise. As simple, I mean, sure, as simple as it is, it probably is very, very easy for you. But what you're saying is not a plan. What you're saying is a statement. So now, Crosby, can you explain to everyone exactly what they should eat? So take the time, put it into the chat, write down exactly what they should eat. Give us day one. I'd love to see days 1 through 3. How should they structure their meals? Amir says, is quinoa or brown rice a suitable substitute for amaranth? Absolutely. Very interchangeable. Morning, Tank. Good to see you. Belen, besides baby spinach, what else don't count as carbs? Can I eat steamed broccoli, cauliflower as much? Well, I wouldn't say they don't count as carbs. They count. It all counts. It all counts. But we lean towards high net nutrient foods that have the highest rate of nutrient density per calorie than all of the highly palatable synthetic toxic foods. I mean, I'm pretty sure it would be impossible to eat your daily allotment of calories in spinach only. I don't know if that's even possible, or carbs even. But yeah, steamed broccoli, cauliflower, I wouldn't say as much as you want, because there's reason to everything. But I think it'd be pretty hard to overeat broccoli and cauliflower. Nino, hey Mike, I'm an intermediate lifter, currently at 21% body fat and cutting. What would be a good percentage for me to get to so that I still look good with muscle and not stringy in weak? 12%. Full stop. 12%. Full stop. Men, 12% body fat. Full stop. That is ideal. That's the way you want to look. The image you have in your mind is 12% body fat. Mark Wahlberg with his shirt off, 12% body fat. Who else? whatever other fancy, Hollywood star out there, 12% body fat. You got abs. I can see them all. There's no little pooch hanging over your belly. Vein running through the biceps, striations in the tricep, clear definition between all those muscle groups. That's about 12% body fat. You're still big. You're still full. You're still round. You're not hard dieting right now. Maybe you're throwing in, I don't know, maybe 60 90 minutes of low intensity cardio. You're slanging some weights a couple days a week, doing something athletically, living your life, working, loving, doing your thing. 12% body fat, that's ideal. As an athlete, that is off-season striking distance for most athletes. Now, the type of sport matters and skill set they need matters. 12% body fat is where you want to be. Ladies, somewhere in the low mid-20s. It's where you want to be fucking healthy as shit, to look awesome, to be like your most ideal athletic version of yourself, and not to have any sort of life sacrifice, which is probably the most important. Morning, coach. Hope all is well. Quick question. I'm super disciplined with my diet, sleep, and exercise. I fear that my sleep will suffer with a baby boy on the way. Any advice? Move to Dallas at night. Your sleep will be deprived for a little while. So you and your wife should sit down and have a conversation on sleep schedule. What makes the most sense? For my family, my wife and I had the conversation. It made the most sense for me to go to bed early and wake up early, because she would be up later with the kids, feeding them, and then finally fall asleep. So I could go to bed 3 or 4 hours before her, but wake up 3 or 4 hours again before her, right? So she'd take the first shift, I'd take the second shift. Now, I would get closer to my 8 hours every night. Her not quite as much, because she was more in tune with the sounds of the baby and a little bit more often, and less comfortable, of course, than I was, to be fair. But that shift worked really well. So then she could get good sleep, that I would wake up with the baby first thing in the morning, be able to give them the bottle, right? The pre-pumped bottle, and then spend a little fun baby time. That worked really well for us. But I would say it should be a conversation, and, do the best that you can during that small period of time. Now our kids are like awesome. Like, sleep is not an issue anymore. Amir, I'm buying too many blueberries on 3 weeks shredded. My blueberry budget is astronomical. I know. It was better than crack, right? There's better things to spend, or there's not many better things to spend your money on than a high net nutrient, healthful Whole Foods. What are your thoughts on growing sprouts in a jar at home? Love it. We do it all the time. We do it with the kids quite a bit. We do it and eat it. By the way, we're not that great at it because I forget sometimes, but Brandy's much better at it than I am. We do have a garden. We got great gardens, cucumbers, eggplant, zucchini, tomatoes, potatoes. Trying to get berries going, that's a little hard, but, we do garden ourselves. Thoughts on new fed diet of collagen healthy? I don't know. I haven't seen the data to support that. Lord knows I've had tens of thousands of dollars worth of collagen supplements shipped to me from all the big companies too, which is nice, and I appreciate it. We take them, right? Test them out in earnest. You haven't seen me endorse any. Turn down that money because it's like, it didn't really do anything for me. If it doesn't really do anything for me, how can I endorse it and tell these guys, my community too? So the most honest man in fitness, by the way. Well, I'm not going to schlang my name just to throw some collagen powder at you guys and make a couple dollars off of it. Gabby, how do I deal with my intense cravings for processed junk food like cake or chips when I just now started to kick the habit of eating them? And I'm now eating real food, but crave them really bad. Can you give me a quick, easy, obese-friendly, full-body, beginner strength training program? I can't do that. That's a whole bunch of work, Gabby. That's a ton of work right there, but I can give you the principles. And I would say you should probably find someone local in your area. Maybe it's a personal trainer, fully vetted, licensed trainer that can come to your house. You can meet them somewhere that is safe, that is comfortable, that you can go and train the way you want to, that can give you personalized attention and really curate your development. I think that's very important. And they'll be there. They'll be waiting for you. And find a trainer that you vibe with, that is very positive, uplifting, supportive, right? But will challenge you and push you and not listen to BS excuses. But that thing being said, right now, Gabby and everyone, we go through what's called the tension of opposites. You're pulled back and forth between old you and new you, and old you and new you. And this is the fight. I've also taken that little fight and I've called that the 3-minute battle. And it's really less time than that. But you have this battle, this mental battle, this wavering back and forth over like a 3-minute period and think about this. This happens to you also, where you fight the fight of should I or should I not do that, eat that, go there, stay here, sleep in, get up, push fucking one more rep. I'll do one more set, one more try, one more time. Or, fuck it, I'm good. Out of here. You know what? I worked really hard today. It's been 3 days now. I haven't had it. I'm going to have it. I'm going to reward myself. That's a 3-minute battle, and you lost. You lost. So that's the battle we all fight, Gabby. And we got to stack wins. We got to stack wins. Now, what helps me is I try and be busy. I sip on hot tea all day when I'm craving, when I'm dieting, like I'm about to get there. So I'm in week 4 now of my own 12-week living lean program. I didn't tell you guys that. I started living lean last month. I'm week 4 into that. I'm using that to get down to 8% body fat by May 1st. I'll be transitioning off of the living lean plan onto the 3 weeks of shredded plan here pretty soon in the next few weeks, but fucking feeling awesome. During this phase, I don't really have those cravings. And I'm posting my meals on Instagram, by the way, so you can see some of my own body recomposition recipes over on Instagram. I should do videos here for that too. But that being said, I get cravings too. And I put hot beverages in my hand. Hot water, hot tea, chamomile tea, English breakfast tea in the morning with some fresh squeezed lemon or some aloe vera juice. And when I am dieting hard, like I did over the last summer of 2021, I was drinking like 8 cups of hot water with lemon at night, watch like Netflix and chilling with my wife. Because I had that craving. And I wasn't even craving bad food at that point. I was just craving more chicken or rice or steak or more of that. So Gabby, it's the tension of opposites, the battle within. You got this. You can win it. Chad, I love you right back. Thank you. Very kind of you. Bellin, thanks for your answer. Lady time. I follow your video about water manipulation for my wedding. Was perfect. Awesome. So happy to hear that. That is great. Sometimes I can't do fasted in elliptical, but I dance in my bedroom for 45 minutes, 120 heart rate. Does it count? Hell yeah, that counts. That's awesome. Dancing, shadow boxing, like body weight conditioning. It's all the same thing. Does it count? Many days I cook before my fasted cardio, 2 to 3 hours before fasted cardio. Is that bad? Nope. That's awesome. You're killing it. Chris says, thanks, Mike. I know you are knowledgeable on weight cuts, and I appreciate your advice. Chris, it is a pleasure and an honor, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Always happy to help. Amir, I'm on the 2nd week of 3 weeks of shredded, but I've been stuck at 276 for 3 days. Right on. Any suggestions? Should I up cardio? Nope. Don't do anything. I know my sleep has been off. Could that be the culprit? Absolutely. Fix that sleep. What did I say before? I forget who I was speaking to before. One of you guys here. I said, don't even come at me with diet questions, training questions, supplement questions until you tell me you are sleeping 7.5 to 9 hours. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? Think about this. Get that sleep fixed. Get to bed 9 hours before you're supposed to wake up. That gives you a guaranteed 7.5 hours of sleep time after you mess around in bed for a little bit. Get that going. But now also remember, Amir, how much have you lost so far is a question. Like if you already lost 12 pounds in 7 days, well, your body's going to like slowly alter. Well, let me explain it this way. The body loses weight in steps, not slides. Right? So we'll be going along, like, fuck, man, scale hasn't changed. You wake up the next day, you're like, I lost 2 fucking pounds overnight. No, you didn't. You lost the 2 pounds over the last 3, 4, 5 days of diligent, consistent lifestyle modification, and it showed up on day 3, day 4, day 5. So, Amir, you will see your body will lose and does lose and probably has lost in this period of time. But don't change anything. There's no need to up your cardio unless you're doing none. Now, I don't know specifically your full training program, so to be fair, I will say that. But just continue on. You're doing great. Chris says, thoughts on kombucha, tea, and other fermented foods like sourdough bread and prebiotics. Kombucha is good, but some people's stomachs can't handle it. It just has a kind of aggressive reaction in many digestive environments. But it's good. I like it, but I'm not a fan of the store-bought bottle kombucha because it's very commercialized, owned by Coca-Cola and Pepsi and some of the other traditional, soda companies. I'm not, you look at the ingredients and they're crappy and sugar's added almost always. What I do is I do more sauerkraut personally. Sauerkraut, kimchi, Greek yogurt is typically what we do to get a lot of the the probiotic benefit from whole foods. But I've been to legit kombucha bars, and that's freaking awesome, right? So I just question the quality. Have you seen the Zoa beverage? Thought on the content on that drink? I've seen it. I don't know anything about it, so I couldn't comment for you. I apologize. Thoughts on supplement usage, D, C, and fish oil? Yeah, I think vitamin D3 is excellent to take. I personally take it anywhere between 5 and 10,000 IUs per day is what I've consistently taken for a long period of time now. Vitamin C, I do think is great. A few thousand. I take 3,000 milligrams per day? Usually about 3,000, 3 to 5,000, 3 to 6,000 milligrams per day of C I'll typically take. Fish oil, I go back and forth with fish oil because I do have a rather robust diet. Now, when I do take fish oil, I'll usually take maybe like a krill oil, and I'll take typically 3 to 6 grams of that per day. More like 3 grams per day, 4 grams per day on average. What's up? You know what? I will do a supplement because I do take specific supplements, but they're all health supplements. The only sports supplement I take would maybe be a creatine, but I put that in the health supplement side anyway, due to its impact on cognitive health. So I'll do the supplement video here for you guys. If you want the supplement video, leave a comment below this video when it posts and ask me more supplement questions. What's up, Dolce? Started 3 weeks to shredded today. What's up, Shandon? Currently wrestling in college. I'm 138 right now and going down to 125. What are the best carbs to take in while cutting? Well, while cutting is how acute. Like while cutting 12 hours out, 36 hours out, 3 days out, 10 days out. How far out matters. That matters. But they should basically be the same carbohydrate sources, which means what you're eating on 3 weeks to shredded day 1 is the same ingredients you're eating on day 21. Just we're altering, we're cycling carbohydrates and calories, concurrent carb cycling at the same time. That builds you into that overall eventual peak. That being said, it's the same basic carbs you're always eating. You're just more strategic, as I told Henrik earlier, with the ingestion of those carbohydrates. Amir, are breads like roti and pita bread a good source of carbs? Traditional roti is made from whole wheat, but I have no idea if it's actually a good source of carbs. Amir, probably less. And I love the subscription badge right there. Subscriber, badged up, click the join button. Bam. Amir, awesome. I'm unfamiliar with roti, but you say it is a whole wheat product. Okay. Pita also, I've eaten pitas before, but I don't know specifically what the ingredients are. And there's so many brands out there right now. In general, I'd say no. I wouldn't put them into the clean burning carbohydrate list. I would put them into the moderate use carbohydrate list, really more so when you are living lean and you're eating that kind of healthy lifestyle and you're just making your way through that first 80% of progression. Then I'd maybe do a pita maybe once a week or twice a week, maybe like our Phenon flat wraps. But even what we suggest in those are of much higher content, quality content, while still being palatable, for the recipe. Eric says, what would be your 3 favorite ideal carbs for day-to-day eating that are not that insulinogenic? Well, that would depend on what your definition is of insulinogenic and how that actually is expressed based upon the totality of the meals that you're eating. And also the purpose, because some foods, some meals, sometimes we want to have a high insulin response, like post-workout or doing acute weight gain, strength gaining phases. But that being said, what are my 3 favorite carb sources? I can't say 3 favorite, because I literally don't, and I don't want to put this into a box. But we love oats. We love quinoa. We love white rice. We love sweet potatoes and white potatoes and all potatoes and red potatoes. We love lentils. We love black beans. We love blueberries. We love watermelon. We love strawberries and raspberries. So those are just some of the carb sources that we enjoy, that we program, that we strongly suggest. Why is rice everyone's go-to choice for carbs when they're eating their most clean chicken and rice, or chicken and broccoli and rice? because of the ease of digestion. White rice is about the easiest of the carbohydrates to be digested, rather rapidly and efficiently digested, by the way. And it goes to replace typically lost muscle glycogen. And it does a very good job. It's a very efficient carbohydrate source. It doesn't have quite the same cofactors as maybe quinoa would or a blueberry would, but you're eating it for a different reason. Thank you, sir. Diego, you got it. Henrik, coconut water, blueberries, and the Dolce way is epic. Classic. Right on, right on. The CHD, is the coconut water and blueberries that good? Oh, man, it's good. Henrik just co-signed. Sup, Canadian? What are your thoughts on bars like RX bars that claim to be made of only natural ingredients like eggs, nuts, blah, blah, blah? Just wanted your thoughts. Yeah, those are fine for my backpack. Like when I'm hiking or on a road trip, I think we probably have a box of RX bars in the house. Box has been there for months. When we go camping, like I'll dump like a variety pack of RX bars into the center console, and like I'll throw a bunch of like nuts in there and just like whatever, water bottles, like throw a bunch of that stuff in there. But it's rarely, we don't eat it regularly. It's not like my meal snack too is an RX bar. No, snack two for me is going to be like papaya and fucking cashews or egg whites, or it's just something different. But it's not bad though. Thanks. I was thinking 12 to 15. Right on. What is a meal combination you like that includes fat, protein, carbs that will keep blood sugar stable and avoid spikes? Eric, you should go to let me see if I can do this right now. I think I can. Hold on a second. Bam. So food combinations. Here's a pretty good idea of some of my food combinations. It's true. You guys, all right, perfect. You all see that? Great, great. Chicken, sweet potato, and asparagus. So delicious. A little bit of paprika on this, a little cracked sea salt on this, and a little bit of whole fat Greek yogurt in this. Delicious. Ooh, this one's so good. 1 whole egg, 5 whites, white potato, butternut squash, peppers, onions, and mushrooms all mixed in here like a hash. Very few onions, though. And think about a lot of peppers and onions and mushrooms. Squash, a little bit. I think that was like a third of a medium white potato. Like just kind of like the little end, the little butt. What else? Ooh, the certified Piedmontese. You can see it's the same potato. The certified Piedmontese bavette steak right there. A whole handful of spinach, which I love. And white potatoes baked. I think these were baked or broiled. Maybe they were broiled. White potatoes with some herbs, a little bit of cracked pepper. Oh, so good. It's like French fries. Delicious. So let me squeeze out of that one. To answer your question, John Cena, what's the combination? Yeah, to answer your question, those are my meals. Just go to my Instagram page. You can see the way I eat. It's delicious. I've been posting more of my meals this way. Can you get like John Cena without juice? He said he'd never done them. In my opinion, absolutely not. Wink, wink, right? I'm not mad at John, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. Yeah, of course. Can you get there? I've never, ever seen it ever in the history of the world. Never, ever, ever. And I know some of the most genetically elite, all natural athletes that are 60 pounds lighter than John Cena, no matter how hard they try. So you tell me. You tell me. Those interested, Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar, January 29th. I'm giving you guys a 25% discount code if anyone's interested. Master25, the 25% discount code. And did I link it to here? I don't think I linked it to here. Or maybe I did or didn't. Well, let me, just DolceDietShop.com. And let me see this. You guys can get to it. I'm not. The link is going to be below this. You can just go to dolce.shop.com if you want to. It's going to be awesome. Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar. Got a lot more questions. Henrik says, Crosby got the good old any calorie will do attitude, only works on the juice, and even on the juice, eating clean works a lot better. And as a bonus, you don't kill yourself slow with fake food. Exactly. I think he was just trolling us, right? You know, and if not, he's just hopefully still here, still hanging out, so we can help educate him a little bit. Hey, Mike, long time. Hope all is well with you. Gedalia from Israel. Hello, good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well. Life is great here. Cold, little cold on the northeast, right, of America here in New Jersey. A little cold, but life is good. Hope all is well with you. Richard, am I crazy to think my body composition has improved by switching to a mini trampoline from running after hip replacement? No, I think it's great. My good friend, fitness trainer, LA-based fitness trainer. I don't want to say celebrity trainer, although she is a celebrity in her own right and then trains celebrities also. Miss Ashley Borden has been speaking about the benefits of trampoline training and bounders as a part of her training protocol. If you know Ashley, she is fucking in crazy fitness shape. Crazy fit, crazy strong, like, you know, got all the athletic performance parts together. And then aesthetically can build and sculpt great physiques. And she loves the bounder. So I think this is actually a great thing for you. What do you think about EWOT 15 to 20 minutes each session with oxygen therapy? I'm sorry, Gadaya, can you explain EWOT for me? I may be being dense or I may have never heard of it before. Kimchi, yes. Hell yes, Sarah. Sauerkraut all day. I love sauerkraut. I have it with every meal now. I have like a half a cup, now almost a cup of sauerkraut with every meal. I feel awesome. My digestive is insane. Mr. Dolce, I dieted for almost a year and a half and lost 90 pounds. COVID hit and I gained 44 back. Now lost the motivation. What should I do? Lennox, you need to start right now. You need to set a goal right now. 3 months from now, you will what? I try and lose the rest of the pounds. So you gained half the weight back on. You lost 90. You gained 44 back. So you're 46 down. Well, that's a positive. You're just on the good side of that line, but now we need to peel off the rest of the weight. So I'm going to set a very specific target for myself. Maybe 3 pounds a week, maybe 4, maybe 2, but you need to set it. You need to set it right now. Not tomorrow, not later, but right now. What is that number? What will you weigh? I will be 8% body fat on May 1st. Period. Done. The end. I am working every single day. Every decision I make is because I know on May 1st, I got to show up at 8% body fat. And I got some work to do. So it hones my focus. I know exactly what I need to do. I know what I cannot do each and every day, each and every decision, because now we're very clear. We set a goal, we set a time, we set a date, a very specific outcome. So now the GPS is set. Leonix. So now what are you going to do? You've already proven you can do it because you've done it. Now we just need to dust ourselves off and get back to work slowly but surely. Any progress is progress. So let's make some progress. Chris says, Mike, you should make your own kombucha. It would be a cool project for your girls. Eventually. Yeah, eventually. We'll get there. It's I got to learn how to do it first, right? I got to figure out how to do it first before I try and show it. But eventually, I think that would be awesome. Amir, thanks for answering all my questions and doing these daily videos. Your work has changed my life for the better. Thank you, Amir. That's why I'm here. I'm here to provide you valuable content, honest, actionable, evidence-based content that will improve your life in some way, shape, or form. That's why I'm here. That's why I come on. All right. That's it. That's the reason. So thank you for saying that. How many hours after waking up is the maximum allowed for fasted cardio? Well, fasted cardio is considered fasted until you've eaten. I would try and do it, and I typically do it. Sorry, I'm standing desk. I'm just kind of stretching out a little bit. Back's getting a little tight. I try and do it within the first, 60 to 90 minutes of waking up. I like to ease into my day a little bit and get a little bit of me time, mental time, especially if the house is quiet. Awesome, right? But you're still fasting until you eat. Leonix, will do, sir. Thank you. Great, Leonix. Keep me posted, man. I want to hear, or gal, individual. I want to hear about your great success. Guys and gals, once again, thank you all for being here. Now I will drop the link if you are interested. Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar. And You can use the Master 25 STER. I want to give that to you. If you're interested, please feel free to use it. Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar this Saturday. There it's posted. This Saturday, January 29th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., a 3-hour live online via Zoom seminar focused on weight cutting. How do we conduct our weight cuts? Off season, in season, body composition, preparing, training camp, peaking, periodization, the meal plan, the pre-weight cut phase, the weight cut phase, the acute weight loss phase, pre-hydration, rehydration, weight cutting for combat sports, weight cutting for bikini, bodybuilding, figure, physique competition, weight cutting for multi-weigh-in athletes such as wrestlers and boxers and all these other things. We cover everything with real world examples. We go through the science, we go through the exact, this is what to do, this is what we do protocols, and then we have amazing stories from the world's most famous athletes of how we worked with them and how they performed and how these techniques worked. So Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar, once again, January 29th. Click that link, use the Master 25 promo code to save 25%. Awesome. High five to you guys. It'll be awesome. I want to get this information out there. I want to have a good audience. I want to have a good crew because we all get to talk to each other too, which is awesome. We get lots of pro athletes in there, which is super cool. Lots of pro UFC guys and gals are in there. Wrestlers and combat athletes, a lot of coaches, well-known coaches, very, very, very famous Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt leader was in there last time. Coach Faraz Sahabi of TriStar Gym even was in there. How freaking amazing was that to see Coach Faraz, in our Mastering the Weight Cut Seminar, and then many others. So consider it, check it out. I'm happy to teach you more, share you and with you everything I know on that stuff. And I appreciate it, guys and gals. So I'm going to jump off here. A lot of work to do today in the office, but thank you for being here. And until next time, boom!